No, they were. They were.
So, Warriors, perhaps they can start off the night well for the New Zealand folk. A win today would continue to solidify themselves in first place.
Definitely would.
And I would say a win today would also probably solidify them in a top 2 placing for the rest of this season.
Yeah, I think they'd be very comfortable. Even if they lost to Order next week, I think only with the one series loss, they'll be very comfortable. Now with Mind Freak dropping one, so they are 1 series ahead of everybody else, at least, if they drop this. If they don't drop it, they'll be 2 series ahead. And that is a lot of breathing room in a tournament like this.
Certainly is, with only 2 weeks left. Well, Warriors are starting off on the attack, as they did on Volskaya, where they posed a pretty imposing time. So far, so good, though, for Ground Zero. They haven't given up too much room, nor too much ultimate charge to Warriors either. Nami up to 26%, slowly getting caught by Huss. First dive comes on in from Mini, straight on top of Noz, who is just focused down by Gus. I mean, fancy putting Gus and Huss in the same game. That's just rude.
It is quite difficult to wrap your tongue around, but...
If only Bus was playing here, you know? Like, let's just replace Mini or Modern with Bus.
Oh, Bus was close. He was doing the trials for the Warriors, from memory. But
then we'd have Gus, Bus, and Huss.
That would just be a disaster.
Maybe Warriors are going to have to ride on the bus back to spawn because it just doesn't look good for them here at all. Not sure, it seemed like half of them reset and half of them stayed.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision there from the side of the Warriors, and it really cost them a lot of time, in fact. But didn't get punished too badly. Nami does seem to be closing in on EMP. Huss is there as well, so he didn't really take advantage of the fight. It was a very split up fight. As soon as Noz went down, it was everyone went everywhere, so I don't blame him for that. Mini with the first ultimate of the game, hard. This is a very difficult place. There is no environmental because he does catch out us too.
Oh,
that is beautiful from Nami. Saw him invis, knew which way he was going to be going, and read him like a book.
Read him like a book, hook, line, and sinker.
Well, he certainly was hook, line, and sinker. He fell for that one, didn't he?
Not sure that's the way that it's supposed to go, but thank you for running with it.
Alright, I'll always support you, mate. You're right.
At the point of climbing on a table when you start calling me out on podcasts.
Look, that was just strange, alright? It was funny though. But who will we see initiate this fight? Is it going to be Nami?
Surely it's got to be Ground Zero.
I mean, they are on the high ground, so Warriors kind of need to force them off it, or at least force the point to force some movement. And now the movement comes. Mini dropping down. Huss still playing reserved until he throws his translocator on EMPs. 3, but Nami with the return EMP and the beep drop from Gunther really sets Ground Zero up for a good fight here.
Bionade that's really causing problems. A nice shatter. Duboy and Nami collected into it, but somehow both of them survive. I'm not sure what stopped Modern's charge, but something did. Might have been Duboy just getting up in time and getting a shield bash across. Regardless, that has saved the fight for Ground Zero.
It could have been. That's a big play. I mean, look at the time left. Only 57 seconds remaining. Noz has the grav, but it's hard to get a Graviton Surge off at this point, especially if they're playing the high ground like they have been so far, Ground Zero. They're not giving up anything.
This is crazy. We're down to 46 seconds. Still,
Gus could put a really nail in the coffin here. If he uses Graviton Surge, that's going to be it for the Warriors.
You look at this fight and you think Warriors probably should be winning it. A nice Bionade through onto Tongue and Jungle. Won't cause too many problems though for Warriors. Graviton Surge collects a few. I'm not sure how many, but it's enough. And this is Warriors now taking the advantage into the fight. How long can Ground Zero last? Probably not too long without Mini getting that Primal Rage up. I think that was the save condition for Ground Zero.
Certainly was, and a very risky grab from Noz, but it was pretty much a blind Graviton Surge on the stairs, but he knew the supports had been pathing through there recently, so he managed to catch both of them in that. Fortunately enough for him, Modern was able to get up there and deal some damage into it. But Ground Zero are going to have a really early contest here, and this is where we were talking about last series. You can get 3 contests off on this card on this point if you contest early, and Mini just wants to do that. He dives in deep, he does have the Primal Rage, but he's EMP'd.
That was a bit of an interesting EMP from Huss. Mini was like pretty much in there on his own.
Oh, Dals was napping.
Oh, why are you napping there?
It's not a place I'd choose to sleep, but now they're getting staggered out, and this can be quite painful to deal with.
Be honest, Smash, you seem like the kind of guy that could sleep anywhere.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm pretty easy sleeper. That's alright. Spent enough time in hotel rooms, traveling around the country, playing for hundreds of dollars in Contenders. It's been beautiful.
It's a lovely story. I hear sometimes you even get your own hotel room as a manager, as a Contenders manager.
Sometimes. But Huss picking off Nami in the fight. One lays down the Earthshadow, but he didn't get a lot. Now
Two boys
it's
sweeping.
chases on. Yeah, I mean, this is a really messy fight. No real...
It's not really a fight though, is it? Like, it kind of just feels like a bit of a skirmish, which hasn't really ended. You know, like, Warriors have continued to push forward and they've continued to get picks here and there, and Ground Zero have not really ever reset.
Yeah, and that first hold that was just really great from the side of Ground Zero is now turned into pretty much a disaster on their second point, as they've given it up for free, essentially. It looks like they won't try and recontest here, but they'll try and recontest early.
That was strange.
It was very strange. They have all the tools to recontest early here, though.
EMP
Comes out. It's just not enough, as Roro gets the first pick in the fight. Modern does get traded away, but his spawn is just there.
Yeah, and Minnie's on the floor now as well, copping a beating from Roro, not to mention EMP in from Huss as well, is going to probably be the icing on the cake for Warriors. With the flying around on the walls is really not going to be too much of a pesky mosquito to deal with. They even have mosquitoes in New Zealand? Who knows these days? Never been there. Oh,
Fairly certain they would.
that was some pretty tricky movement from Huss, by the way.
Good parkour from him. He's experienced on the map, knows the map knowledge, plays a lot of ranked, so he's going to play this map a ton. That fight was very expensive for Ground Zero. They committed the EMP, they committed the beat drop. Now they're in a position where they can be easily punished, as the Warriors are on the retreat, running away from the rally on Juboy. Nami gets put to sleep. He has armor though, so he should be okay.
Not only that, but Modern was hacked as well, so no real incentive for Warriors to push in at that point. Huss has been spotted, and spotted through his translocator as well. Shatters down now from Modern, and Dalsu cops the brunt of that, smacked into a wall by the big Korean himself. In comes the rest of the Warriors as well, the New Zealanders, the Aussies, everyone's piling in. Gunther stuck inside this Graviton Surge is not going to have a fun time at all, even though Nami throws the EMP in. And it's a good EMP with 4 players collected. There's no one there to follow it up.
Oh, that's such an unfortunate second and third defense from Ground Zero. After playing so well on the first point, getting it down all the way to overtime, they just get snowballed and steamrolled on second and third, and it just looks like they never were in the game from then on. Really disappointing to see that, considering that they had a really good opportunity here to hold them very close on second or even very close on third, and
Yeah.
that would have really turned everything around. Now Warriors are in the driving seat, definitely, when it comes to this series.
Like, to have such a long hold on first and yet to still see 59 seconds, it's pretty crazy. I mean, Warriors didn't really stop. Once they started, they didn't stop.
It's really what you, yeah, basically that. You don't want to see that at all if you're the defending team. You want to put up a good first hold, and then you're like, all right, fellas, we'll hold them in second. You know, we've got 3 opportunities to fight, but because of the stagger spawns and the messy nature of the fights, they didn't really get 3 fights. They got 2, 1.5 perhaps. And Warriors, now they've turned to this composition once more. Bunker up, fellas. Noz on the Tourbillon. Ground Zero really didn't show that they could deal with it very well, in a timely manner either on Volskaya, so maybe we see another full hold on Hollywood.
Bit preemptive to call that.
Um,
Haven't seen Ground Zero on the attack just yet.
I'll be interested to see how they approach it, because the way they approached it on second attack of Volskaya really didn't fill me full of confidence. I saw the way Order dealt with this type of composition, where they just went the 3-3 composition. They just, you know, took space and took the areas and made the bunker composition come to them, and I think that's the appropriate way to play it. But Ground Zero, not sure what they want to do just yet, what type of style they want to play.
We shall see shortly. Duboy on Hanzo, is this real? Perhaps the bunker breaker.
It is real, and Dalsu will swap over to the Roadhog, so they are playing this composition that's very popular in matchmaking at the moment, which is kind of just like a shield break composition. Then you go in and you get the whole hook. Pretty much everyone's playing it in North America, so it's not a surprise to see it come out, but it is something very different for our viewers.
Dalsu not really having too many problems with the pulled pork. Interesting to see him on this particular hero. See what he's going to be able to do. Oh, well, there we go.
Clean Huss up nice and quickly there. Unfortunately, Gunther, the solo healer, does go down to a double direct from Roro, showing his prowess on this Pharah, but all of Dalsu's hard work undone by that resurrection from jungle. Can be quite hard here for Gunther too, because he's going to be the solo healer on the side of Ground Zero game. There is no Ana. They're going for the Roadhog over it. Try and get that combination to get those pick-offs nice and early.
Need to be very careful here as Gunther. Those rockets getting mighty close, and if he goes down, that's essentially the fight over. Ooh, Dubois gets Roro. Just able to keep Gunther up, and it does look like it's going to work pretty nicely for Ground Zero. Starting to make some inroads now onto the point. Huss goes down to Gus. Modern
Dubois flying very low, and Modern's got the machine gun out again, but he is hacked and he wants to retreat.
He's not making enough noises. You need to make more noises. It'll increase your power. And here we go. Modern, who gets the supercharger down. I think he heard me. He started to increase the power indeed. Does fall pretty quickly after the fact. But he might have actually done enough to keep Warriors in this as the players respawning do manage to get back on.
Yeah, see Roro on his famous Tracer swap. He's done that a few times now where he's just swapped to Tracer to get back to the point, and once that supercharger came out meant he did a lot of damage. Noz does a lot of damage. Even Jungle got in on the action, taking out Gunther in the skies.
Mini copping a few straight bullets on his way into the point. Noz ulted up into the air, but there's no following hook. Now supercharger down from Mini this time. Noz's turret is out of the picture, but so too is Mini. And it's a rocket barrage from Dubois. Noz playing with a bit of fire, jumping up and down like that, but it's Tongue. Little dispatch of Dubois. We've seen that so many times. The Ana getting rid of the Farah. That self-destruct does not look too good, but it is at least going to buy enough space to get 2 ticks up now for Ground Zero. Huss, where's the EMP, man? He's been hacked on up. He's dead! And that is not a good time to be going down. It could have turned it around for Warriors, but sadly now I think it might be just a little bit too late. Having said that though, EMP off the back of Modern with a nano boost on top of him. Maybe Warriors can still say something about this point. Modern drops very quickly, but Roro also gets Dubois. There's so many players still coming in here for Warriors, of course, as the EMP does fade. Nami's maybe hit Tongue, I don't know. Did it get cancelled? He died pretty quickly after the fact. Regardless, it didn't do a whole lot. And still, Warriors are contesting the point.
Dalsu gets 3 in the fight though, and I think that's going to be the exclamation mark on it, because that fight was definitely a dog's breakfast. That was messy as it could have been. We had players like Warriors, players Tongue, sitting in the cafe just punching heals into Modern as fast as he could. Keeps the nano boost up. That means the recontest from Hussey was keen on it, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately. They just didn't get enough kills, and Dalsu was able to just sit there like a turret and dish out damage. And if you leave an Ana alone, she can do a deceptive amount of damage.
What is a dog's breakfast, Matt?
I don't know. Usually a bit of whatever's left over from last night's dinner, usually.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we've had a roast or something. We just give a bit of roast meat if we left that over.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken with gravy.
Sounds nice.
Spuds.
Why isn't that Smash's breakfast?
Well,
That fight was a bit of Smash's breakfast.
I don't know. I usually just have toast for breakfast. Not too picky on it.
Alright, that's good to know. He goes Mini straight into the fight. He's got the nano boost on top of him. Doesn't look to have done too much damage with it though.
Yeah, didn't get a lot done with that nano boost. You want that one back. Huss coming in on this EMP too, which will mean Mini will be very, very vulnerable.
Huss is definitely looking for it.
It is manually hacked though, out from Nami, taken out from the skies as well. Modern dropping very low, anti-nated at the moment. Tongue uses the nano boost to top him back up and put him in fighting condition. Let's see if he gets anything off it. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's happy to send out a fire strike for the day.
I feel like Huss is a bit of an enigma on the Sombra. Sometimes he looks absolutely unstoppable, and sometimes you're just like, are you inting?
Yeah, I mean, he almost gets Nami there. But I mean,
I don't want to be too harsh, right?
He's consistently good at building EMPs, but you're right, there are those moments where you're asking what he's doing. But he is doing big work at the moment with that EMP. He finds 2 players stacked up, the anti-nade comes through onto the rest, and this will be Warriors cleaning up the fight.
Ooh, Nami. Get a little bit scared. But he's okay. Well, no, he's not. Huss has found him. See, like, that's more what I want to see.
Yeah,
but a couple of times this week, a couple of times last week, we've sort of seen Huss running around while there's a fight happening. He's got EMP, and he's got EMP, and he's got EMP, and
he just
and then the fight's over. So, is he playing maybe too conservative?
A little bit of indecision, I guess, is probably the problem. With the Sombra play, you just need to kind of back yourself, and if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. But this is going to be a big Graviton surge from the side of Noz. This is going to get everyone stacked up. despite Nami's EMP coming out, if you're EMPing inside a Graviton Surge, you're usually going to die anyway. Mini and Jubo do turn it around, but it's going to be quite difficult to push Tung off that high ground. Graviton Surge comes up. It'll be interesting to see if Gus wants to use it. He does. He only catches one in it though. Noz gets the nano boost from Tung on the high ground too, so this will keep him alive for a little longer.
Actually keeps him alive through the whole thing. He doesn't end up going down. Modern comes back with a shatter, gets Mini and Gus in that. It's only Gus to go down, but there's another EMP for Huss. I mean, might as well just throw it every fight, man. That's how quickly he charges it. Don't need to be hanging on to it as far as I'm concerned. Model will get 3, and then Mini gets his shatter down, but Mini is on his own, and this looks like it's going to be a map win for Warriors. Ground Zero have not been able to push through quite enough.
That was immaculate positioning from Tung. They had nothing to deal with him on that high ground once that Sombra died in that Graviton Surge, so he was just able to throw out heals and pump heals into Gus, who ended up turning the fight around really. And props to Tung there for being in the correct position and not jumping off the high ground like some other Ana players would.
Can't really be too surprised though to see Tung in the right position playing Ana. Always consistently able to get some impact out of that particular hero. Well, I mean, across the board, really, it seemed pretty good for Warriors. Like, the fact that it took so long, even for Ground Zero, to get through point A, how messy those kind of fights were. Again, we look at Warriors and we say they're the kind of team that seems to thrive in these sort of messy engagements because they have the individual players that are going to step up and make those big, you know, Roro's going to do something nice, or Tung's going to get a good sleep, or Modern's going to get a nice shatter from the side, or Huss probably has an EMP, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're always somewhere there.
Yeah, it shows the individual skill coming out from the side of Warriors, and that's something that we've commented on before in the broadcast, that they are quite clutch players, you know, they have the individual talent to just take the game away from the opposition, and they've done that so far today as well. They had the hiccup on the King of the Hill map, but they look to be back in form for the back end of this series, which is something you don't really usually associate with the Warriors so far, but they look to be doing quite well this season. Modern played a pretty decent Reinhardt this round, but I'm disappointed in Ground Zero. They had such a good defense set up and then they just let it slip, and even on the offense, when things got messy, the Warriors just came out on top, and you see Modern doing all the damage here, taking out Dalsu very low, and that drum from Modern was actually quite impactful because it meant the heroes returning, the fast heroes like the Roro Tracer and Huss Sombra had that massive damage boost.
Yeah.
And that really made that messy fight very easy for very easy for the side of the Warriors.
Easy. Jeezy peasy. I mean, we were talking about that after Ilios. Doesn't look so jeezy peasy anymore.
I think I cursed it maybe. Bringing out the jeezy peasy too
very hard.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think their other hashtag is West is best, and I have to agree with that one. West is best.
I mean, I'm technically from the west side of Sydney and the west side of Brisbane, where I used to live.
There we go. West,
there we go.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's west of something, isn't it?
The west of something, right? But you're east of something as well from WA.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that, though. I don't want to be in the east. That's rubbish.
Okay, where's Havana? That's the question.
Cuba, isn't it?
I guess.
Cuba's, well,
is that east or west,
east.
though?
I mean, it's east, right? It's like east coast.
East of what, though?
Well, the center of the world, you know? Which is me.
What's the center of the world?
I am the center of the world, Jordan.
You wish, buddy.
Yeah, I do. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Hey, what is the center of the world? Middle
GMT,
East?
probably.
Yeah, GMT. Wow. Do you really want to be calling GMT, Greenwich Mean Time outside Britain, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think technically that, right? If you had to choose somewhere.
Yeah, I guess that would be the center of the world. Either that or some remote.
Depends which way you're talking. Is it the vertical center or the horizontal center? Like, is it the equator? Because then it's the equator, right?
Well, yeah, I guess it is. Well, I mean, the equator is the center, but where along the equator is this? It's a sphere. You can't really have a center with a sphere, otherwise we're in the middle of the core of the Earth and it's awfully hot and nobody wants to be there. The places people do want to be are Havana.
Here's another question for you, Smash. Why is the light on during the day?
You know what?
What?
Some bloke's wasting a lot of energy there.
Yeah.
There's another one in the back too.
You better go. Better go get on that.
You know,
Hit up your boys at Blizzard. Say, come on, guys.
what is this rubbish? You got a sun out, beautiful day, and you got the lights on. God, my dad would be filthy about that.
I bet
He'd
he
be
would.
going around handing out. Yep.
I mean, you sound pretty filthy about that.
Well, I mean, look, I mean that lamp's kind of acceptable because it's, you know,
You're
indoors,
inside, I
but
suppose, but
still,
goodness me, that's just unbelievable.
obviously, government isn't paying for the power bill. Don't know who is, but must be Monty Burns or something.
Maybe it'll be Ground Zero. Where's Huss going? He's going to fix the lights. He's going to fix the lights.
You're going to turn off the lights. Hack 'em.
Just pick up that ladder on the left there, and well, we'll see.
Well, tell you what, he's going to get a lot of ult charge off Juboy as he hacks him. No more take a breather for you, and you go down pretty quick on that Roadhog.
I suppose if he EMPs, it'll turn the lights off, but it'll be a little while before that is going to the fore.
Oh, Darcy getting slammed too. This is a disastrous start for Ground Zero.
I think Roro has kind of just cooked Noz a little bit there, booping Mini right into him, but looks like he'll survive regardless.
Sorry, he's just building ult charge for Tongue. Helping
True.
little Terry out. Modern now swapping over to the Reinhardt. More of a standard composition. Ground Zero looks like they're going to swap off to a Winston 3-3 or 3-2-1. Not going to go for the Reinhardt. That's an interesting decision. Most teams like to match Reinhardt with Reinhardt. It can be quite difficult to play Winston versus the Reinhardt just because as the Warriors, you can kind of hold your shield up and deal with the Winston. Okay, Mini's swapped back now, so he's finally decided on what hero he wants to play. But that's going to give up a lot of room.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's down to a 2-fight territory.
Yeah.
And Huss is building this EMP rather quickly.
Only getting 2 fights instead of 3 on this phase of the map, and this one might be over pretty quickly. EMP is going to go through straight away. There was a Reinhardt on the ground anyway, and Modern is the one that is padding all of those stats off the back of the EMP. He's collecting 2, now probably 3. In fact, actually, it's Tongue with the finishing blow onto Juboy. When all said and done, though, a lot of that damage came from Modern, cleaving with the hammer.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to be doing if you're a Ground Zero. You muck up the start, don't get much time on the stall, and then you muck up the hero swaps. That means that you give up first phase very quickly.
Oh, Juboy got very low.
Very low, but a big anti-nato on the side of Ground Zero. Dulce throwing that one out. Hands jungle down to very low, but he's pushing into a lot of ults. Mini manages to take out Huss with a rogue fire strike here, so this opens up the opportunity for...
Modern is just getting bullied, man.
Yeah.
40 on the shield, down
wants
below
this shatter.
100. He does want it, but he wants it a bit too much, perhaps. Vinny was aware. The shield goes straight up. It would have been a nice one, but for that big brick wall right in front of him that was the Reinhardt shield. Now it's a Graviton Surge through from Noz, but again, it's Mini that's doing the damage. This time, Modern down. And Warriors, I think they might have just been a bit over-eager this time.
Well, Mini got slept there, but as Modern turned the corner, someone woke him up, and Mini knew what was coming because he saw Modern go around the corner, looking all menacing-like. As soon as that, he just holds up his shield, and Modern wastes his ult, so someone's to blame there for waking him up. But now Huss with the EMP is about to turn the lights out, hopefully.
Been waiting a while, haven't we?
We have been waiting a while. Dalsu does have the nano boost to counter it if he only gets 1 or 2 targets, so just to manage to get a big one here. And here he comes.
Has not quite connected onto Dalsu, so the nano boost does go through. Graviton Surge was thrown out as well. Kind of locked both teams up in a sense there. EMP meant Ground Zero couldn't capitalize on Grav, and Grav meant the Warriors couldn't capitalize on EMP.
It's a stalemate fight, and that's what you want if you're Ground Zero. You've also got this armor from Brig just ticking over still. It still affects you. I think it lasts 45 seconds or a minute or something, so they're going to have a little bit of an advantage this fight. As Modern gets anti-nated and pushed into a corner, he's very low, but he's managed to escape. He's on the flank.
Same for Roro, like somehow he's survived there as well. I don't know what is going on in this fight, but Warriors coming out ahead. That's a good shatter from Modern. And Juboy gets collected by the charge.
Oh, Modern was dead for all rights there. He was anti-nated, he was so low, but they just kept the high ground. They didn't chase Modern down there and didn't punish him, so the fight ended up turning around for the side of the Warriors, and they're going to have a massive time bank heading into this third point. We saw earlier both Order and Mindfreak able to cap this map out with less time than what Warriors have at the moment, so things are looking very good for the side of the New Zealand-based team.
And pretty grim for Ground Zero.
They're going to need a big EMP shadow combo off here, but Warriors have seen this come out before, and they're playing very disciplined. They're not opening themselves up to that opportunity.
Also got an EMP of their own. And that's exactly what is going to be thrown in early on in the fight. Mini almost dropping, somehow survives, must get the armor pack on through. And it's going to be the nano boost, actually, I think, that might have saved Mini. Nonetheless, it's the shatter that's going to perhaps end the fight for Ground Zero in their favor. Roro smacked in the side of the head with a big hammer. Don't have too much of a fun time. It's a little disappointing how that went for Warriors. They were so close to knocking Mini over. Just a little bit more damage would have done it.
That's the new nano boost, or not new so much now, but the nano boost feature, the heal, the instant heal is so powerful, keeping just one target alive, but it's not going to be enough this time if it comes out, because Mini anti-nated, and he's going down very quickly. Gunther on the retreat, can't juke the tracking of Noz.
Yeah, very nice tracking, in fact.
Beautiful tracking.
This is where now Warriors are going to push forward and try and take some spawn camping positions. Gus almost has Graviton Surge. Noz still quite a far way away. If Modern can get a good shatter out here, though, that'll be the map over with a huge time bank.
Seal definitely could seal the deal here. Look for Roro to see if he's going to be very aggressive on that brig to set up that Earth Shatter. Nami's hacked somewhere. He's safe though. Usually when you see a Sombra get hacked, you fear for their life.
Well, Huss is at 82% as well, so very close by. Graviton Surge is a little bit too late or maybe a little bit too early from Gus. Either way, it doesn't connect. Barrier goes down anyway. EMP will cancel the last remainders of it that was on Warriors, but more importantly, catches Jungle, Noz, and Huss, the players with the ultimates that could have really made a difference. It seems as though Modern had his shatter invested as well, but it didn't really have much of an impact. So a minute 51. Ground Zero still to hold.
Stalking. Juboy knows he's around somewhere. Can't get the back cab, so he's just going to scout himself some information to set up this EMP. He does take out Nami's translocator. Nami now stuck in the middle of the team as he was trying to build some ult charge, and that's an easy pick-off. So that's well played from Huss. Good communication from the side of the Warriors to take out that translocator and leave Nami stranded.
I don't know that it's going to affect too much. Nami's still going to be able to get back into the fight before it really eventuates. Of course, it means Nami won't have as much charge as he would have liked. At least he's alive. Graviton Surge through. That's an equally nice Earth Shatter to answer. Roro doesn't have the availability of the external bubble to keep him alive. Now it's on to the Nano Boost of Modern, the EMP of Huss. And, well, Modern, he's a bit of a blender at this point, just spinning around with, as I said, the Nano Boost. And it'll be Warriors to finish things off.
Gunther forced into the awful position of having to use your beat drop when you know the enemy Sombra has EMP, and it just gets stripped straight off him and Mini. And that will close out the map. 59 seconds. It was a similar time bank for the side of Order heading into this overtime, so maybe Warriors can still lose it from here.
Maybe.
Seen
Wishful
stranger
thinking.
things happen. Yeah, I want to map 5.
I have seen Stranger Things. Finished watching it last night.
Oh,
There
any
you go.
good?
Yeah, it was alright.
Oh, I have to get onto that. Maybe that's my
Smash,
afternoon
you will
activity.
cry like a baby, dude.
Yeah, probably.
You
but
can't.
That's good.
You're gonna cry like a baby. You're gonna be scared. It's very scary.
It's alright. I'll watch it with a mate, maybe.
So just fair warning, dude. It's a pretty spooky show. You should be careful.
I'll get one of the production crew backstage to hold my hand while I watch.
Yep. Hopefully, Chris.
Yeah.
You guys
No,
have
no.
both got pretty soft hands. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, it'll be good.
You know, it'd be cute.
Chris, if you're down for that later, let me know. Alright, lovely. Now, we have to focus on the side of the Warriors versus Ground Zero Gaming. We've got Tung on the Ana, Noz on the Torbjorn once more. We see the bunker comp again. They are very fond of this on the defense.
Are you fond of it?
No,
Why?
because if you lose like one bad fight, like if it goes horrendously wrong and you just don't have any stabilization, then you just get snowballed. I think we
Okay.
saw that from Mind Freak maybe earlier. They
Freak
just got
up.
snowballed. They got freaky on the compositions and ended up copying out.
Gunther just like can literally AFK and spawn.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Hold down the right click. Like you don't even need to hold the right
Ooh.
click if you.
That was
have
a
your settings
crisp
set.
shot from Nami.
Yep. And you talked about losing one fight and potentially getting snowballed. Well, this might be it.
See how far back they're getting pushed out here. It's
See, yeah, I mean, Ground Zero can reset, but that's an exchange of holds.
very dangerous. Ooh. Shot in the head, Burrow building out charge, but Nami's found out where he is from those shots and taken him out. But Burrow does get rezzed, so reset.
Well, you need to be getting a bit of revenge right now as Roro. He's built the infra side up, which is definitely going to help.
And he's managed to get put to sleep.
There
so
we go.
This will aid the side of Warriors very well. And with that Orisa taken out, it's pile-in time.
Yeah, Gus get tacked on up as well. There's a couple of players still contesting the card here for Ground Zero, but a much better resurgence from Warriors than what we've seen so far on the defense. In particular, obviously, Roro being able to deal with his counterpart this time, having a big impact.
But this is where the strength of the composition that Warriors is on lies. Now, there's a long sight line between them and the point, or the attackers on the point, so that's where they can put all this spam damage out. The Torbjorn can spam, the Widow has nice sight lines. Husk can give everybody information, and this is where the strength lies. So if they get a full hold, it's going to be from here. Oh, Nami hits the headshot on Husk, but unfortunately it's not charged enough, but he's already done that once before.
I need to be a bit careful.
Definitely don't want to be dueling Nami for too long if you're Husk. You can see the Torbjorn doing so much damage here.
Us is looking for an EMP. One would think Modern goes down really early in the fight. There needs to be an immediate response out here from Warriors, otherwise they're just going to fall over right now on point A. Rez comes back, but Jungle goes down as he is rezzing. I think for Warriors, they just have not done enough here. I'm not sure what the circumstances were for Modern going down so quickly. It was a headshot from Orisa that actually killed him.
I'm assuming that he would have taken a headshot from maybe the Hanzo with damage boost or the Widow with damage boost, and then the Orisa tickle just finishes him off. But
yeah,
we saw Nami pop off again there like he did on Ilios. So good signs from Little Nam.
Pretty decent time bank actually going through into phase B. 4
Yeah,
minutes.
and the Warriors have swapped up the composition now. You can see those 4 ultimates on all under 10, 10%. So they've obviously freshly swapped to that, and this is where the problem can come in. But they're lucky. They kept Tung's nano boost, but Nami's taken Jungle out on the rotate already. So this is a great opportunity for Ground Zero to get some distance. As the grab drag or the suck dragon combo comes in, that gets 1 kill, and that will seal the deal on the fight as Juboy popping off on the Hanzo.
Not only Juboy, I mean Nami obviously opening things up as well has been a great asset for Ground Zero here. So all be working right now for the team in green.
Noz is so low. Gus needs to chase him here and finish this kill off. He might end up doing it. I think the personal bubble came back up and got a bit scared on the side of Gus. Nami gets another pick. Tung goes down too.
This is just feeling like Hollywood, where Warriors were on the attack and they kind of never really let Ground Zero reset things.
Oh, nice shots from Nami too. He's really enjoying himself playing this Widowmaker as he finishes off these targets. And he's tell you what, he's deserved to play the Widowmaker. He's had a massive impact on this game so far. Let's see if he can keep it up onto the 3rd stage, where it can get a bit difficult. Noz is getting close to that Graviton Surge. Huss has the EMP, which is something that Orisas do not like to deal with, but that Infra Sight from Nami could prove a thorn in his side. Jungle stuck in the next spawn. Also is Tung too. This is disastrous for the Warriors, but they managed to get out. Huss manages to drop the EMP and Nami caught too far forward.
Yeah, Nami got a little bit too eager. That was a bit of a bait, it feels like, almost from Warriors, although I think they were making the best of a bad situation. They have made a pretty good situation out of it. Modern almost even trying to spawn camp. This is going to have to be a pretty stoic defense from Warriors if they're to hold for another 3.5 minutes.
They are in the right position to do it. This is a very good spot to spawn camp. There's nice line of sights, there's nice cover, but Noz goes down to 10 HP as he gets headshot. Nami ends up taking him out. Modern trades by Dalsu, but can you do enough damage when they're in the spawn?
I mean, I guess apparently you can. I was going to say I don't think so, but somehow Warriors still getting picks. There was a grab actually from Noz. This from Modern, that's very cheeky.
It is.
It's another 50 seconds shaved off.
Very aggressive from the side of the Warriors. Love to see that. Modern put to sleep though. Will they be able to capitalize on it? I don't think Mini could go from that pin.
Oh, I thought he was almost going to get knocked off the edge again. It's very close, but Modern's okay. And so many resources put into Modern means the rest of Warriors are fairly uncontested. Lots of damage done.
Yeah, it looks like it's very favorable for the side of the Warriors. They've got the spawn camp going on. They're in good positions too. Tung's found himself a little bit of high ground, not a lot, but Huss now with the EMP. This is a very easy spot to get a big one.
Just waiting for the right moment. Perhaps waiting for Ground Zero to really commit to this fight.
Very, very patient. Maybe too patient, but here it comes. Big Shadow comes in from Modern to follow up, and this will be another fight win for the Warriors.
Perhaps not as many kills as they actually would have expected off of a combo like that. Warriors still continuing to allow that cart forward, although eventually they do get the better of Ground Zero. Modern needs to be careful he does not overcommit.
Modern just waiting for the nano boost there to fade from Mini to re-aggress, and Tung with that high ground found a nice little anti-nade, and that really ended the fight. Good recovery from Ground Zero though to get out of the spawn.
What's going to happen eventually. For a shatter right now, I think is Mini. He's just getting booped and smacked and slept and everything. It's the main tank live. Shatter onto Noz, who does not appear to have a bubble available for it. The sleep goes on to the nano boosted Modern. So a lot of effectiveness coming out of that one from Dalsu.
Yeah, and it seems like Warriors have found themselves in a tricky situation. They have lost the fight, but they've cut off so much time off this clock, and
they're going to go through with an advantage into the time bank, whether this is capped out or not.
Yeah, even if Ground Zero can cap it out, because I don't think they're in a position here that could be quite tricky. Huss is going to have EMP soon. Nami's got it, but not a lot to follow it up with.
Especially if the sound barrier is avoided by the EMP, right? If Jungle's hiding somewhere, he's ready and waiting for EMP to come across, which is what he should be doing at this point.
Definitely is. He's sitting in that back right, really distancing himself from that team. And now he comes out and drops the sound barrier onto Modern, but will it be enough to save him?
Oh, a decent shatter. It does connect Modern. It connects Roro as well. EMP from Haas. He knows he has to throw it in here, but I think it might just be too little too late. Well, Gus is going to fall, and 1 by 1 is what the defenders are going to look for here. Just individual picks. Doesn't seem as though that is going to come across, though, as Haas has to continue to try and contest the point. Modern just gets there as well and smacks Gunther in the face. Exact same thing happens back to him. Juboil dispatch of that. Tongue trickling on now, and Roro just not able to get there.
Wow, this series is eerily similar to the series that we just had, actually.
Well, we did expect two pretty good, pretty close series, and that's what's delivered today.
It's definitely delivered. This is very similar to the Order Mind Freak series we just watched. Maybe not the same level of play, though. I feel like the level of play in this series hasn't been quite as high as the previous series, but it's still been an incredibly tight series nonetheless. I think Nami's really improved and performed on that Widow this series, and Huss has always had a decent time on Sombra. He's built a lot of EMP. He's got more value out of him this week than he has in previous weeks. It's been quite good. This is good signs for Ground Zero, though. You'll be very happy if you're Ground Zero here. It's 50-50 for this map now for me. 43 seconds isn't a whole lot. Warriors are looking to change things up a little bit, though.
Yeah, like, I'm just thinking in the future, when we do get to season finals, this actually might be the first season where we get, like, a really close grand final.
Oh, you'd hope
Every season so far has been a pretty one-sided grand final. You know, the best was, like, 1 or 2 maps. Did Order get 2 maps in Season 3 or 1?
No, they got 1 map, and they full held on Route 66, and then got full held back.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like the closest grand finals for sure.
So that was like 4-1 or something. So
yeah, I think all of the grand finals have been 4-1.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, cheeky little shot from Huss.
Which, it's hard to say that any grand final matchup would be a 4-1 here.
No, you definitely see at least 4-2, 4-3. I mean, the teams have been incredibly close this season. That's proven by the fact that Order are so low on the standings, and a team like Legacy is, despite not having any series wins, they still have, you know, decent map differential just because they've been going to the 5th map almost every week. Wow, that's a nice shot from Huss. Pixel perfect.
That is a bit cheeky indeed. Underneath the payload, Gunther will drop, and this is where Warriors know they can get a massive, massive hold. Look at 20 seconds left, and only now is Ground Zero starting to reset. They're being pushed away, but how are you going to get a good, solid attack on the payload now? Someone's going to have to commit to the contest.
But they can see him coming with Huss's infra side. He's fast. He's built that up so fast as Juboy goes down. Gus has get headshot by Huss again. Another headshot from Huss. He's absolutely on fire on this defense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you could really do to play around that. Huss just hitting everything, and, well, Ground Zero, they had a second chance, but they didn't get very far, so this is going to have to be something magical.
Well, what can you do when Huss just pulls up that? He just pulls out the Widow and says, listen to me, fellas.
Pulls it out, lays it on the table.
Yep, they're not going to get past me, and he does
No, they're definitely not.
Well, Gunther's head went clean off at the open of that fight. Oh, pixel perfect shot, and then he just continued to get headshot after headshot, really. Great to see that from Huss winding back the clock. I remember playing on a team with him, and he did something very, very similar on Dorado 1 defense. Just told us all to get stuffed and picked Widow and killed everybody.
Always nice to get carried sometimes.
I was certainly carried that day.
Oh. Well, it's hard to believe Warriors won't be able to get 42 meters.
No, it's hard to see how they won't, but stranger things happen. Ground Zero will be doing that early hold on that 3-3 composition. Don't think you'll see Tung on the Reaper. Maybe a few years ago when he was on Avant-Garde, way back in the day.
Yeah, I wonder how many teams have been and gone.
Too many for my brain to remember. Warriors are starting on that DPS composition, looking for any little picks they can get. Before they got some decent picks actually, Dalsu went down pretty quickly to Modern and Roro combination. So they're going to need a biblical hold here from Ground Zero. It needs to be something special. Can they do it?
Absolutely biblical. That's what we're looking for. That's what the grand finals are going to be this season. Hopefully, some more interviews with Channel 9 ahead.
Hopefully Gus going for the aggression onto Roro, but Jungle's there to help him out. And Dalsu's actually caught himself napping, which means there's going to be no heals out this time. That leads to Gus's mech going to the wayside.
Warriors are still not able to find that first pick. Roro's up to 97% though. Finally Dalsu will drop. There's just too many angles for him to be able to keep himself alive. Sound barrier is going to go down. It's a desperation sound barrier and doesn't quite catch Mini. There's nothing to be done about Roro and the Rocket Barrage. The Diva mech was still coming back in defense matrix. Not possible. Warriors are on with the push.
I think that sound barrier was a bit of a disaster, to be honest with you. It's pretty much the only thing that would have saved them versus Huss's EMP, and now Warriors have EMP, Nano Boost, Mines, Graviton Surge coming through. It's going to be... I don't see how Ground Zero can win this.
I don't disagree with you at all. There's almost no doubt in my mind that Warriors are going to finish this one off, but we shall see. EMP goes through Gunther, running into a mine that Modern had laid earlier. And slowly but surely, Warriors are dispatching of the individuals. There's 4 down now, only 2 remain. And in fact, no longer any remain. It's Ground Zero that will drop the map, and Warriors that will win this series 3-1. And a fairly easy overtime, it must be said.
Yeah, it was a fairly easy overtime. Disappointing that Ground Zero couldn't push it further, but when you meet Huss when he's on fire like that, it's pretty hard to get past him. And Huss really clutched up there at the end of the overtime.
He certainly did. Good win for Warriors. Fantastic win, really, because, again, it's just sealing the deal for them. Seems like they're uncatchable at this point. Maybe the only team now that can really do anything about it might be Order next week.
It
if
could be
Order steps up next week.
It's a big ask, though.
Big ask indeed. Big ask indeed.
Looked like Warriors have just been that step above the rest of the competition so far. But saying that, they keep dropping maps. I don't think they've had a 4-0. Maybe versus the Mavs they have, but apart from them, I don't think they have had a 4-0. So that's interesting to see that even though they're the most dominant team in the region so far, they're not overly dominant. But it was a good showing from Ground Zero. I think you should be happy with your showing if you're Ground Zero, but you'll be a bit sad that you didn't get the result you wanted. You want to push it to 5, or you want to take the series. It's just unfortunate as we see this shot from us.
Which one? There was
this is
a lot.
Roro at the moment. He had a good few shots too. It is nice that both Huss and Roro can play that Widowmaker. It makes comps very flexible for them. A lot of teams don't have that.
Sort of harks back to Sydney Drop Bears of Season 2 with Colour Hex and Jordation.
Yeah, that was a powerful DPS duo.
Powerful indeed. Just like the Warriors roster. To all be kind of lining up for them. I mean, from a position like this, the way that the season's been going, they're the team that you expect to see in the grand final, but
it's just a matter of who's going to be there.
Who's the other team? That's right.
It could be Ground Zero, it could be Mind Freak, it could be Order. Atletico have shown to be playing well this season too. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting.
Does Sydney Drop Bears get it together?
Ooh. That's an outside chance. I think they have.
You think Sydney Drop Bears is more of an outside chance than Atletico?
Oh, the way they've been playing, yeah, probably. But there is that potential. Kraken and Shoyu, veteran players. They've won 2 seasons, 3 seasons for Contenders. You know, they're not going to go down easy. But at the moment, it looks like Drop Bears are so out of form that I can't see them challenging.
Maybe
for
this
finals.
week against Atletico is going to.
That will settle it. Yeah,
certainly
will.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe there's still a world in which Warriors don't get through to the grand final. You know, like if for example, Order stays in a weird position where they end up getting drawn into Warriors in a semi-final, or why am I even saying order at this point? It could be literally any of the teams, right?
Yeah, it could be Mind Freak.
Mind
They
Freak.
said they were confident during the week on that podcast. Joel said he was confident versus the Warriors if they versed them now, so it could be a good matchup.
There goes my pen, but I've got some good news for you guys. It's time for another Macca's Play of the Game. It's Ground Zero and Warriors, and you're going to love this one, Smash. It's Huss on the Widowmaker.
My boy Huss. He's ready to clean up on the Widowmaker. He lands the cleanest shot here, falling. He just gets straight under the card, and now he's finishing up. Doesn't charge the shot enough on the first shot, but doesn't matter in the end of the day, as he can just keep hitting shots up.
Gets a bit of cheeky SMG action in there as well. Like, why not?
Cleans Gus up too on the recontest,
Oh.
and Gunther. Like, that's what more can you ask for from your Widow player?
Not really a whole lot. Maybe if you would change his name so that we didn't have 3 players with us.
Well, I mean, his is okay because like it's the start of his first name, and I think Bus is okay because it's the start of his last name.
So you just have an issue with Gus.
Well, I think Gus is his first name too, actually. So I mean, they're all fine. You just need.
You don't have to say Gus, Huss, and Bus in quick succession, Smash. You don't understand.
Mate, come on.
Come on.
You paid the big bucks to do that.
I don't know about the big bucks.